Headline News Chief Editor assaulted by Alboystone residents during violent protests. Truck driver faces trial for fatal accident on Agricola Public Road. Noise pollution violators seemingly go unpunished. Houston residents complain of noise and dust from nearby industrial activity. In the region, Argentine economy looking to US dollar during crisis. And internationally, youth nightclub events in Iraq aim to change perceptions of the country. Greetings and welcome to this edition of Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. A protest turned violent in Alboystone, Georgetown today as residents of Leopold Street began burning tires and firing gunshots as they protested a police-involved shooting earlier this morning. Angry residents claimed that Odinga Williams, a father of two, was shot and killed by police ranks at Princess Street around 1:30 this morning. The burning of debris in the streets has caused damage to electrical wires and a disruption in the flow of traffic in that area. There were also reports of gunfires between police officers and those at the scene, but a detailed statement from the police on the shooting and the unrest is expected later. Despite the presence of police officers on the scene, our chief editor Wendell Jeffrey was beaten by a male resident present. The perpetrators believed him to be a police officer.
I got the police already shooting shot. I got the police shooting shot. How you gonna do that, man?
He received injuries to the feet and mouth, including a broken tooth. He is currently receiving treatment for the injuries. However, there have been no reports of the arrest as yet. Local news blogger Guyanese Critic reports that A Division Commander Marlon Chapman was more than willing to speak with the residents, but was not willing to have any discussions while they were on rest. As of this afternoon, the situation had returned to some level of normalcy. Today is the 261st day of the year, and according to the Environmental Protection Agency of Guyana, they have received at least 280 formal complaints thus far. In spite of these numbers, Esther Sobers tells us that the noise violators seemingly go unpunished.
Noise pollution seems to continue unabated in Guyana, despite recent police operations and formal warnings from the Environmental Protection Agency. For 2019, the EP has received about 280 reported cases of noise nuisance thus far. Nevertheless, there have been no charges brought against the violators.
We can institute once it would have to pass through the court, and our fines are started, I think, 350,000, as much as 700.
350,000.
Yes.
And how many persons have been fined and passed through the court?
We have not passed anyone through the court specifically as it related to noise. It would have been a number of environmental breaches that may have included noise, but not specifically noise alone.
While the EP has not brought anyone before the courts for noise nuisance, the Guyana Police Force is mandated to prosecute noise nuisance violators.
Once the sound is loud and continuous, and it would require evidence being brought by the complainant. So the complainant will have to go before the court and say, yes, the noise is loud and continuous. And I think a lot of times, again, from experiences shared at the training, persons were saying people would call and complain, but they don't necessarily follow through with providing the evidence.
Section 175 of the Summary Jurisdiction Offences Act make it a crime to produce any noise which is so loud, continuous or repetitive to cause a nuisance. Last year, the Guyana Police Force received some 300 complaints of noise nuisance. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. An act of arson is reportedly responsible for the fire that recently claimed the life of 7-year-old Shania Passad yesterday. Fire Chief Marlon Gentle confirmed that investigators with the Guyana Police Force have determined that the blaze was intentionally started. The police are expected to open an investigation to find the person or persons responsible for the fire. On August 4th, around 1 a.m., Passad and her two brothers were awakened to their home being on fire. Her brothers managed to escape unharmed. She, however, was able to escape but was engulfed in flames, according to eyewitnesses. Days later, Shania was taken to the Shriners Hospital in Galveston, Texas for treatment for severe burns about most of her body. Unfortunately, she died over a month later on September 8th. Her body will be flown back to Guyana tomorrow to be laid to rest. Coming up after the break, truck driver faces trial for fatal accidents on Agricola Public Road, and Houston residents complain of noise and dust from nearby industrial activity.
Styles. Simply different.
Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have so much waste to dispose of in the landfill? Well, composting can help us reduce the waste we dispose of by turning our organic waste into compost, which can be used to improve the quality of our soil.
Composting is very simple and convenient.
You can compost using organic waste such as vegetable skins,
or fallen leaves and cut grass and put this in a composting bin or pile.
Compost can help your garden grow healthy plants
while reducing your volume of waste. It's a really good way to keep our communities clean and healthy.
So, let's all start composting our waste.
Find out how easy it is. Call us on 226-2189 or 227-8429 or visit our website moc.gov.gy. A message from the Ministry of Communities in collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Welcome back. The truck driver responsible for the accident that claimed the life of a 7-year-old girl on the Agricola Public Road was charged today. More from Esther Sobers.
The driver responsible for the accident on Agricola Public Road that claimed the life of 7-year-old Ciara Benjamin has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving. This morning, 39-year-old Damian Welcome faced the Georgetown Magistrate Courts and pleaded not guilty to the charge. The charge stated that on the 1st of June 2019, Welcome drove his motor lorry GWW 962 in a manner dangerous to the public, causing the death of a young child. The court also heard that the man was speeding along the roadway when he lost control of the vehicle. Welcome was released on $500,000 bail on the condition that his passport be lodged and that his driver's license be suspended. Welcome is also required to report to the police station on a weekly basis. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. An 85-year-old man today lost his life when a fire broke out at his home at Scottsburg, Riverton, Berbice. Stanley Brown, an amputee, and his wife were trapped in the upper flat of their home when the fire broke out sometime after 6 a.m. this morning. While his wife managed to escape by jumping through a window, Brown perished. The residents of Back Road in Houston are calling on authorities to put a stop to the constant noise and dust coming from a nearby industrial site. In this report, Esther Sobers tells us that the pollution is so bad that even she returned to the studio covered in dust.
And when the breeze blow, it's really bad, man.
Dust and noise reportedly coming from the Bonishwar container yard is making life unpleasant for the residents of Backstreet, Houston, East Bank, Demerara. The container yard has been in operation for about 1 year, and according to the residents, they have expressed concerns over the pollution since day one. Now the residents are calling on the Environmental Protection Agency to investigate their complaints.
I would really like somebody in authority to help out in this situation concerning this dust pollution. We breathing in dust, eating dust, sleeping in dust, wake up in dust. My whole house is polluted with dust. So I don't know what to say. I have no other choice but to do what I'm doing here and to go to the media to get help because I ain't got no other way.
The residents claim to have visited the nearby work site several times, but they were redirected to the Monishwar head office.
We have a report, they block the trench. The dust is one, they block the trench, flood. Every time the rain fall, you get flood. Up to yesterday, you have flood. So that is the main problem.
Complaints were also made of an elderly resident who is unable to sleep at nights as operation at the work site sometimes go beyond 9 p.m.
This old lady here that is 93 years old, she jumped out of her sleep. I mean, in the night, everybody, by the time 8 o'clock, everybody here shut up, lock up because they have to go to work. And when you're making that set of noise there, it's very disgusting.
It was evident that residents are affected by the sheer level of dust present in the air. Headline News was only at the scene for several minutes and our clothing was covered in dust. According to the EPA, the resolution of the complaint may differ based on the nature of the complaint. Generally, for new matters, the agency writes the polluters, clearly outlining the mitigation measures the polluters need to implement within a specific deadline. The complainant is also updated at this stage on the actions that have been taken by the agency. Nonetheless, Headline News spoke to a representative from Monishwar Limited, and the company noted that they were never informed about the residents being affected by dust pollution. However, the company plans to put in place corrective measures to mitigate the issues highlighted by the residents. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. When we return, Argentine economy looking to US dollars during crisis, and youth nightclub events in Iraq aim to change perceptions of the country.
Are you kidding me? Really? So wrong. That is not what we were taught at the Green Generation Guyana camp.
Is this the correct way to do it? Drivers, you have two options that you can use. First, you can temporarily put your empty plastic bottles in the trunk of your vehicle or on the ground on the passenger side next to you. Or secondly, place them in the nearest garbage bin you see. We need you to play your part in helping us keep the environment clean and healthy. A message from the Ministry of Communities, Green Generation Guyana Sanitation Program. For more information, please contact us on 592-227-2605, or you may find us on the World Wide Web at www.moc.gov.gy.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home. We also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Styles. Simply different.
Welcome back. In the region, Argentina is in the middle of an economic crisis, and it is the US dollar that is in the spotlight once again. Argentines are looking at the dollar to save themselves instead of the country in general. Al Jazeera reports.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning in Argentina, and the question everyone has is, how much is the dollar today? Argentina is in the middle of an economic crisis, and it's the US dollar that's in the spotlight once again.
Crises in Argentina are cyclical and things happen again. Argentines look at the dollar and people want to save themselves instead of the country in general. In the past year, recession is everywhere.
Even though the national money is the peso, it's the US currency what runs the economy. The main reason is inflation, because a raise in the value of the US dollar immediately translates to a raise in the price of almost everything.
In the early 20th century, Argentina was one of the richest countries in the world thanks to the export of beef, wheat, and other farm goods. But things changed in the 1930s because of the Great Depression in the United States.
The word crisis and devaluation appears repeatedly in the Coin Museum of Buenos Aires. Over the years, solve its main problem. The economy needs dollars to grow, but the country spends more than it produces, so it needs to borrow abroad. That's what President Macri did since taking office in 2015.
Macri administration, when they took over, the expectation was to generate capital inflows and generate growth through investment. And what happened, you had a lot of portfolio inflows, but not as much investment. Macri was a bit too optimistic. It took too long to adjust the fiscal issues. He had to keep interest rates too high for too long, and people already now mistrust the value of the pesos.
And that's why people have been going to the banks to either buy dollars or get their money out.
The US dollar is not only used by the elite in Argentina, but by all sectors that run to buy dollars as soon.
Calls to dollarize the economy are common in Argentina, but people like Mariana Lucy say it will not work out well.
In 1991 and 2001, there was an attempt to tie the peso to the dollar. It was a convertibility at that time. It was not a dollarization, but the state did not have a monetary policy. It controlled inflation, but it devastated the economy too.
It ended in the massive crisis in 2001. The next few months will be difficult ones for Argentina, that is unable to amend an economic pattern that repeats itself over and over again. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
And in international news, in the Iraqi capital of Baghdad, the group Riot Gear hosts nightclub parties to change the perception of the country's conservative society. Despite not serving alcohol, the events have still caused a backlash, with organizers receiving threats. France 24 reports.
Incredibly, this is Baghdad. On a Friday evening, some 1,300 young Iraqis let loose at an electro party in the heart of Iraq's capital.
It's a very nice thing. It's the first time I see such a party in Baghdad. There have been some parties in the past, but something like this, impossible.
The event is organized by Riot Gear, a group of young Iraqis who want to promote a different image of Iraq, one that challenges the rules of the country's conservative society. Although no alcohol is served here, the parties have provoked a backlash.
It's challenging in a way that we are organizing this thing. We have a problem with people that they don't understand what we're doing. They think that it's something that we imported from enemies of Iraq.
Some of the organizers have even received threats, making security at this event a top priority.
We used money to hire our...
Elsewhere in the capital, new venues offer an escape for youth who want to reclaim their freedoms. At the Faisalia Cafe, men and women mingle.
Atmosphere of freedom. You can see the rules when you go up. No one can come with guns. No one can look at the girls.
On stage that night, Sally Mars, the only woman in Baghdad who plays electric guitar in public. Outside these walls, her way of life is a constant struggle.
They want to cover the girl and put in the house and keep it away from the eye, keep it away from the people.
And yet Sally plays on, hoping that her music will help bring about change.
If we go to Europe and live a good life, who will stay here? Who will stay here to change the society? Who stay ISIS and a group of Islamic to make another war and to kill another people?
After years of war, this new generation of Iraqis are a fresh wind of hope. But many of them know that the long road towards change has only just begun.
Here's the... And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube, or you can visit our website at headlinenewsguyana.com for more news. Until then, take care.